Hello, bonjour, welcome everyone. Welcome to this webinar dedicated to the 2021 Sciences Po Summer School's pre-college program. It's a pleasure to have you all today with us. My name is Maria Zuelos and I'm the director of the Sciences Po Summer School. Welcome again. So I'm delighted that you could all join us today for this webinar. We're going to spend about an hour together going over the program's academics and specifics, and of course, answering all of your questions. Today's agenda will include some general information about Sciences Po and the summer school, some detailed information about the academics of the pre-college program, information also about studying online with Sciences Po, the online cultural and social program that we have prepared for this pre-college program this year, and of course some information about application and tuition fees. So you are very welcome to ask any question during the webinar. You can use the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen to ask any questions during the time that we will be speaking. Some questions will be answered directly in the Q&A section by the team. And other questions requiring more elaborate answers from us will just be answered orally at the end of the presentation. All right, so on that note, I suggest that we get started by telling you a bit more about our institution, about Sciences Po. We will not tell you everything that you need to know about Sciences Po, obviously, and we hope that many of you will join us to discover more about our university this summer. But we thought it would be useful for you also to know a bit about Sciences Po very generally. So Sciences Po was founded in 1872 and has been ever since France's leading university in the social sciences. It was founded in a very specific time for France's history, namely after the Franco-Prussian War, which ended in 1870. And where France was actually defeated against Prussia. And Sciences Po was created at a time when the political elite of the country and some intellectuals thought that we had lost this war because we were very badly prepared, and also because the elites leading the country didn't think strategically enough. So the ambition behind the creation of Sciences Po was really to become the university training the political elite of the country. And it's still the case today, obviously. Only to name a few of our alumni, the current president of France, Emmanuel Macron, is a Sciences Po alumni, as were pretty much all of the presidents of the Fifth Republic and prime ministers as well. So Sciences Po is located in Paris, in the heart of the city, in the historic neighborhood of Saint-Germain-des-Prés, but it's also located in various cities throughout the country. We have 6 campuses throughout France. And so it's a Parisian-based university, but not only. We have roots pretty much everywhere in the country. Sciences Po is well known for its innovative pedagogical approach based on 3 pillars, the interdisciplinarity, which is very important. At Sciences Po, we think that learning different disciplines in the social sciences is key to succeed and to become a successful leader. So students learn political science, international relations, economics, history, sociology, and law, and the humanities as well. So that's very important in the pedagogical model that we have developed. One very important pillar is also the link between theory and practice. So we have researchers, full professors teaching at Sciences Po, but also practitioners who can be diplomats, economists, lawyers, etc., who bring the practice of their job to our students. And so that's something that's very important as well in our pedagogical approach. And last but not least, the international outreach of Sciences Po. So let me just say a few words about this international feature of our university, which is key, which is very important to understand Sciences Po. Sciences Po is a university that is open to the world. It's diverse, it's multicultural. And we have almost 1 out of 2 students studying at Sciences Po that is non-French. So 49% of international students at Sciences Po, representing a great diversity of nationalities, so 150 different nationalities represented on campus. We have also developed a network with the most prestigious universities worldwide. We have tied partnership with more than 450 different universities on all continents. And we offer dual degree programs, more than 40 dual degree programs with those top universities across the globe. So Sciences Po is renowned worldwide for its academic excellence. And this year, again, we ranked second in the 2020 QS ranking for politics and international studies, just behind Harvard University and tied with Princeton. So obviously also this academic excellence is being recognized by international rankings. So that's a few words about Sciences Po. Obviously, there's more to know and to discover, but we thought it would be nice to give you a bit of a taste of an overview of our university. So now let me just say a few words, very general information about the pre-college program this year. So as you can see on the slide, the bottom line this year will be Discover Sciences Po online. Why? And let me just start by answering this question about why we decided to switch the program and run it online again this year. So as I'm sure you all know, the pandemic is far from being over, even though there have been some progress and the vaccination is underway, but still there are a lot of constraints in France and in other countries. And this is the reason why we have decided that it would be wiser this year to offer the program online. The main reason for that is that currently in France, all residential summer camps have been suspended, meaning that we are not allowed by the law to run a residential program for minors in France as of now. So obviously this led us to this conclusion that it would be safer to run the program online this summer, also because of all of the travel restrictions that still exist. For many of you, it would be difficult to travel to France this summer. But the key bottom line of that is also that because we have one of our top priority is the safety of our students. And the pre-college program in its on-campus version is a residential program, meaning that all students live together, sleep in hotels, in shared rooms, eat their meals together, etc. And we thought, considering the pandemic and the context, it would be safer to offer a top online experience and top academic experience without having to bear the constraints of living together. Hopefully this will be something that's not going to happen again this next year. But for now, this is how it's going to happen. So anyhow, the pre-college program will still offer the possibility for all of our students to get a taste of higher education, to discover Sciences Po, the key disciplines in the social sciences that I mentioned before. The professors that are involved in the program will still be involved in the program. So there will be no change in the teaching team. And students will still be able, of course, to get a glimpse of what it is to study in the higher education system at a top institution. They will still be able, of course, also to connect with like-minded students from all over the world. We'll tell you a bit more about that in a few seconds about where our students do all come from. So now let me just leave the floor to Lucille Amsalem, who is the pre-college program coordinator. And she will be telling you a bit more about the academic program and a lot of other things that you are all wondering about the pre-college program. So I'll be back later, and I'll leave it to you, Lucille, to go on from now.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for this introduction. So let me tell you a bit more about how the pre-college program will be run, and first about the academics, then how it will be run online, and what we have prepared for you for students to learn about France, learn about their classmates, and overall have a very enriching experience. So the pre-college program, as Mary has told you, is specifically designed for high school students. It is run for 2 weeks. So this year we offer 2 sessions, one in late of June and early July, and the second in the mid-July and end of July. Participants are eligible to come to the program if they are at least 15 years old by the first day of the program, if they are secondary school students who will still be in high school in fall 2021. So if you have graduated or you're about to graduate from high school this year, you are not eligible to the pre-college program, but to another program that we run, that is the university program. And the academic program is really structured about 2 kinds of courses. So the first one is the core courses in the social sciences, which will give you an idea of the main disciplines that are taught at Sciences Po. And in addition, you will be able to study one elective course, which is an introduction to one key discipline that you get to delve into in further details during 2 weeks. So who are our students? Last year, we welcomed 111 participants who represented overall more than 30 nationalities and who were studying in 27 different countries, ranging from the Americas, so in the USA, in Canada, but also in Asia with China, Singapore, Vietnam, and any other parts of the world. And they were on average 16. So as you can tell, it was a very international cohort with a very heterogeneous backgrounds. And the pre-college program really is not only courses that you get to study and to attend, but also to experience a very multicultural learning environment, which is part and parcel of the program, but also of a Sciences Po education. So what is it that you learn with the pre-college program? So first, let me tell you that the academic program has not changed from its original version as we had planned it this year to the one that we are running online. This is the exact same courses. They only have been adapted in the form, but really the content and the structure remains the same. So the academic program is really an introduction for high school students to discover Sciences Po key discipline at the university level. It is structured around 2 types of courses: the core courses, which represent about 20 contact hours, which is divided between master classes, which are lectures given by different guest speakers and professors who teach at Sciences Po, who address various contemporary issues, and interactive tutorials, which are really seminars to help students delve into issues addressed during the masterclass, before the masterclass, to be prepared for the masterclass. And it is also a time when they learn about university methodologies, such as how to do an outline, how to do a bibliography. So these are the core courses. And in addition to the core courses, students select one elective course, which represent about 14-hour contact hours, which are an introduction to a Sciences Po discipline, so either international relations, political science, economics. Most of them are taught in English, as you will be able to tell in a few moments, but we also offer one course that is apparently you can't see what I'm saying. So let me try again. Okay, apparently it works. So I was telling you, these are the masterclasses which will be taught this summer, one for 4 for each session. And as you can tell, they all address current events, so the European integration, nuclear weapon challenges, the concept of peace building, social protests, populism, Masterclasses are taught by renowned professors at Sciences Po. For instance, Jan Rovny, who is a specialist of the European institutions, or Sharban Tachbat, with both a professor at Sciences Po, but also an expert for the United Nations on human security. So as Mary told you, we have professors who come both from the academic parts and also from who also work in their field. Masterclasses overall allow students to study current events through the prism of the social sciences with the various disciplines of the social sciences. But we also want students to learn more about one specific Sciences Po discipline. And this is why we ask them to choose among this elective course list. So almost all of our elective courses are available for both session 1 and session 2. Only Problem Solving 101 is only available for the session, for the second session of the program. So with the elective courses, students choose among introductory workshops to a Sciences Po discipline. Get a Deal, for instance, is a practical introduction to international negotiations. La démocratie en Europe is the course that is a course of history of the democracy in Europe, which will be taught in French. So you need at least a B2 level of French to participate in the course. Foreign Policy and International Relations is a course which introduces students to international politics and international challenges. Rethinking Social Identities is a course which critically think about how social identities shape politics and how they are shaped in turn by politics. Social Class is a course which questions the way in which inequalities tend to shape the world. And Problem Solving 101, which is only available for the second session of the program, is a course designed to understand how public policies are made and what they are overall. So as you could tell, with the different master classes available for each session and the different elective courses available, you can actually choose, if you are interested, to participate in 2 sessions, session 1 and session 2, because master classes are different, and then you only get to choose 2 elective courses, 1 for each session. So how is it to study online at Sciences Po? How will be the program organized? So last year, we have really developed an expertise in online learning. We successfully welcomed 111 participants, and 92% of them were either satisfied or very satisfied by the program overall. So we were really proud that so many students were dissatisfied with the program. And we decided to renew what we did last year, that is to organize classes and courses in a live and synchronous format in order to maintain a very high level of interactivity during the class. This is something that is very important for us. We do not record our classes. The point is not to have a streaming of your class, but to actively participate. Students at Sciences Po, online or offline actually, are key actors in their learning. That means that their participation really participates of their success and their learning overall. So we want students to be engaged, to participate in class, and to be actually there during the class to do that and engage in lively discussions with their professors and with their other classmates. Of course, classes and exams have been adapted to online learning. So we use different platforms to study online at Sciences Po. So we use Zoom, as you have guessed, to provide virtual classes. We use Moodle, which is an offline platform, which allows students to get access to different resources such as academic materials, syllabi, readings, videos, or any other academic resource that the professor wants to share with their students. And we also use Booklab, which is an application which allows to further strengthen the participation and the interactivity of the classes, which is very easy to use. And of course, classes have been adapted to various different time zones. This is something that is very important for us, that a maximum of students can participate in their class in our program this summer. So here are two examples of what your schedule might be. The way it works is that for all schedules, masterclasses and tutorials, so the core courses, are always positioned in the afternoon from 2 to 4:30 in the afternoon, Paris time. And then elective courses are either positioned after the masterclass, like this example, from 5 to 7 p.m., or before the masterclass in the morning from 9 to 11 a.m., again, Paris time. So schedules vary depending on the elective courses. So if you want to apply, make sure to check if your elective courses that you like to attend is actually compatible with your time zone. This is something that is very important for us. And because we organize the pre-college program usually on its residential format, the activities and the community that is created through the program is very important. And this is something that we wanted to keep during the online version of the program. So in addition to online learning, the summer school also organizes a very rich program of cultural and social activities. Because at the summer school, we want students to meet and to connect inside the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, so that they feel part of a Sciences Po community of students and that they get to experience this multicultural learning environment that we are very proud of at Sciences Po. So with the cultural and social program that we have prepared for you, students will be able to connect and bond with other international students thanks to collaborative online games and icebreakers, so that you get to know each other, such as trivia quizzes, escape games, or coffee socials. You will also get to discover French culture. We want to bring French culture directly to you with different virtual visits of Parisian landmarks and museums. So last year, for instance, we have organized a guided visit of the Louvre, of the museum, of the Orsay Museum as well. And we have different visits organized for you this year as well. We also want you to learn a bit more about Sciences Po to really make sure that you feel part of this community for the 2 weeks that you are studying with us. So you'll be able to participate in a virtual campus tour, as well as an information session about the studies at Sciences Po. And because we want to think about all this kind of activities that we can organize, we want you to develop also artistic skills by participating, if you want to, of course, in a creativity contest. So all this activity program is included in the program fees. I'll be able to tell you a bit more about it later on in the presentation. And of course, last but not least, how to apply for the program. So our applications are currently open and they will close on May the 21st for this first session and on the 11th of June for the second session. It is very important for us to stress that there are a limited number of spots available in the program. So we strongly encourage you to apply as early as possible. If you want to participate. The program has rolling admissions. That means that the admission jury meets regularly, and you may expect a decision about a month approximately after submitted a complete application. So to apply, you only need to create and submit an online application, which is composed of a motivation letter in which you need to be very clear about why is it that you want to study at Sciences Po, why you're interested in the program, and tell us as well why you are interested in the elective courses that you have chosen. You need to also add some academic background information, so a certificate of enrollment of your current year, as well as transcript of this current year and the year before. You need to also upload a recommendation letter in English or in French as well. We do read French at the office, so it's not an issue if it's in French. And you need to justify of a B2 C1 level in English. This is something that we are quite attentive to at the summer school, because we want students to be completely comfortable in English to follow the program. So we accept official certifications, so TOEFL, IELTS, TOEIC, Cambridge certifications. We also accept transcripts that shows that you have studied entirely in English for 2 years. This is something that is very strict. If you are in a bilingual school, for instance, this will not be accepted. It will be accepted, for instance, if you're a Peruvian student and if you are studying in the UK in a quite regular high school in the UK, then you have been studying for 2 years entirely in English, and you can only upload a transcript for this. And if you haven't studied entirely in English for 2 years, or if you haven't taken any certification yet, it is also not a problem, because we also offer at a summer school a language assessment test, which is available on our website. You only need to download the test, doing it on your own seriously, and afterwards add it to your application. And last but not least, the application fee to apply for the program is 40 euros. If you want to participate in one session, the cost of the program is 2,300 euros and 4,000 euros if you want to participate in 2 sessions. And these tuition fees include all academic materials, online courses, of course, ebooks, as well as the virtual social and cultural activities that I mentioned before, with an access, of course, to Sciences Po online resources from the library. So I will now take some questions. So I'm going to read them out loud and answer them so that everyone can hear me. And about the admission, what is the most important part of the admission file? The admission file is overall very important. There's not necessarily one aspect that is more important than others. I would say transcripts are very important, requirement in English are very important, and the motivation letter, but really everything is important. It is, we try to assess application in a very global way to understand why the candidate is very motivated and interested in the program, and whether or not he is academically good. How many students will be in each class? This is a very interesting question and very important point that you raise. We tend to limit our number of students per class. That is on a residential program as well as the online program. This is something that is important for us. We usually have between 15 to 20, no more than 25 students per class. It is even more important because you are online, and we want to keep this very high level of interactivity. We want to keep this students' participation. So this is something that is important. This is why, if you're interested in the program, we encourage you to apply now. Academics, do students receive a certificate at the end of the program? Absolutely. The certificate that you are likely to receive is depends on if you are present to all your classes, if you take your exams, and if you complete a session survey, so that we learn more about what went very well and what can be improved during the program. What's the enrollment rate? What was the enrollment rate last year? So to give you an idea, I don't have the specific rate that comes to mind, but we received last year more than 500 applications, and we only selected 111 students. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how selective this program can be.
If I may just jump in, just to clarify this question about the number of students enrolled in the program as well as the admissions rate. So last year, we only maintained one session of the pre-college program online. So we only had one session and we had a bit more than 100 students, so 111 to be very specific. This year, we want to maximize the number of students that we're able to welcome, but we don't want to overload the classes because, as Lucille said, interactivity and the capacity for each student to participate and to take part in the debates are very important in our pedagogical approach. So we are looking at more or less about 100 students per session so that we can have elective classes and tutorials with about 15 to 20 students each. And so that will be altogether maybe a bit over 200 students for the 2 sessions.
Thank you, Mary, for this clarification. Another question about academics. Can you explain how the exam will be organized at the end of the sessions? So you have 1 exam per course. So let me jump to the core courses. So for the core courses, it's a written exam that is organized through our platform on Moodle. So it usually lasts for 1.5 hours and you need to answer in an essay format. And for the elective course, it is an oral presentation. So it is done via Zoom. So it's quite adapted to an online learning. And one of the challenges that you need to work in teams for your oral presentation. So it's called petit oral, so small oral presentation, I guess. And it is a very traditional aspect of a Sciences Po education to be able to deliver a presentation to your classmates. From whom do we have to obtain a recommendation letter? I would say from a professor that knows you very well and that can testify of all the qualities that might be relevant for the program, and that can tell who you are as a student and why is it important that we take into consideration your application. We have another question regarding the activities. Can students in Paris meet for a visit of the campus? This is an excellent question. I'll let Marie answer this question.
Yes, this is indeed a very good question, and thank you for asking this one. So as we said earlier, we made the choice this year to offer the program online because of all the reasons I explained about the risk of hosting a residential program on campus this summer, but also because many students will not be able to travel to France, and we wanted to bring Sciences Po to them also wherever they are. So that's the main reasons why we are going forward with this online version of the program this year. However, we will continue monitoring the global health situation and the local health situation also in France. And provided the conditions are met, we might be able to propose a campus tour, maybe a short visit on the Sciences Po campus for those who would be in Paris during that time. For now, we're not able to confirm that because we need obviously to see how things evolve, but that's totally an option, and that's something that we will be keen on doing. However, the main cultural social activities program will be offered online in order for everyone to participate, obviously, and that will be only the cherry on top of the cake if we're able to do that for those who will be in Paris at the time of the program this summer.
Okay.
I don't know if we have any other questions from the crowd.
We're listening to you.
We just need to have the questions popping into our screen before we can get
okay back. I can see there is another question, which is it a must need to join the summer school program to apply to Sciences Po, or it's a value adding application? So really the pre-college program is thought as a preparation to higher education overall. What you will experience is what it is like to study at Sciences Po. So really it's an immersion into, it's a 2-week immersion into what a semester could be at Sciences Po that is adapted to high school students. So it is not necessarily a requirement if you want to apply to Sciences Po later on, but it will definitely help you confirm or not if this is something that is interesting for you. I don't know if it is still clear, but it's not a preparation for Sciences Po overall. It's a way to prepare you to higher education in general.
If I may add, it's more about many students in high school have not necessarily made up their minds about what they want to do for their higher education plans afterwards, and it's totally normal. Most of the pre-college students are 15, 16, sometimes 17s, but they don't have necessarily thought through all of their options, all of their choices. So it's more about giving you the possibility to get a glimpse of what a Sciences Po education is like, getting all of the information that you need about how courses are organized, methodologies are being brought to you, etc., so that you can decide whether you want to apply to Sciences Po afterwards. But in no case, it is a preparation to be admitted to Sciences Po afterwards. So that's just to be very, very clear and specific about that.
Okay, do you have any other questions? Apparently, yes. Okay, so it has to do with the language verification options. Concerning the English level, may I ask where is the official text to put into our application if we don't already have one? So is the summer school language test that you are talking about? It is available directly on our website. And you can download the English summer school language assessment directly from our website. If you can't find it, do not hesitate to send us an email so that we can point to you on which page it is. I'm seeing other questions. The admission processing is on rolling basis. On average, how long does it take to hear from you after submitting an application? So between, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, considering that your application has been declared complete. So if you need to complete it again with other documents, it might take longer, but once you have submitted a complete application, you may expect to hear about it from us, yes, 3 to 4 weeks after submission. What should be the motivation letter content? Is there something specific to talk about it? Well, we want to learn a bit about you, and we want to learn also why you're interested in the pre-college program, why you're interested in Sciences Po or the social sciences, why is it that you want to participate? And it is also very strongly advised to talk about why you have chosen the elective course or the elective courses that you have selected. It is also a good indication for us that you are projecting yourself into the program and that you have thought about your decision before applying. So it seems that we have run off questions. We're still listening if you have some other that pops up now. Otherwise, we'd be very happy to answer any of your questions directly if you're explaining your situation and your question by email. So here is our email. Oh, I see there is another question, quite common. What is the proportion?
You'll have time for your questions. Take your time.
Yes, we do have some time. So what is the proportion of students from France? So French students, the number of students in the program varies from 1 year to another. On average, we do have usually 1/3 of the students who are French. There are usually French who also study abroad or who also have another nationality. So, so this is the average proportion. Of course, we cannot know what it will be for this summer.
And actually, it's less than the proportion of French students in degree-seeking programs at the bachelor's or master's level, where you have about half of the cohort, which is French, and the other half, which is international. So at the summer school, it's more diverse in terms of nationalities, but we do have a good number of French students who are interested in the program, obviously, and always good also to have them in the program. So about a third of the students do come from France, but do not necessarily live in France. That's something that Lucille just mentioned. We have a lot of students who are French nationals, but who live abroad and bring also their international perspectives to the program.
So I saw that there was another question regarding academics. Can you explain more precisely what an elective class is? So to do this, I'm going to get back to the elective course list. So basically an elective course, it will be a class that you'll have either every morning or every afternoon. So for instance, with this timetable, it'll be easy to explain. The elective course is an introduction to one Sciences Po key discipline with a specific theme that you'll be able to study for 7 days straight. So from the Tuesday to the next Wednesday for 14 hours. And it will provide you with a more specific focus on this Sciences Po discipline, on this discipline of the social sciences. So it can be international relations, foreign policy, international negotiation. It can be a course of history with La démocratie en Europe. It could be an introduction to sociology with social class and rethinking social identities, political science, or understanding public action. So these are our course lists for this summer. And contrary to the masterclasses and the tutorials, the elective course has different sessions, right? And you get to study more in detail this specific theme, whereas for each core courses, you study one theme. So for instance, the first masterclass here is policies and politics. And during the first tutorial, you prepare for this masterclass. And then each masterclass changes, which gives you a very diverse overview of what you might be studying at Sciences Po. So political economy, European institutions, sociology with the new social divide, or political science with populism versus democracy. So it's a different approach. I hope this is a bit more clear now. We have another questions about academics, which is, I'm just looking for it. Could you precise what are the tutorials in our schedules? So I'm going to get back here because it's actually easier to explain. So for each masterclass, each masterclass is a lecture given by a Sciences Po professor. And for each masterclass, you prepare in a small group the key aspect that will be discussed during the masterclass. So the key concept, you also learn about university methodologies, as I told you before, and they are very interactive, small group tutorials that will give you all the keys to understand better and to be able to be prepared for the masterclass. And there is another question regarding admissions. Should the motivation letter and the recommendation be both in English? So for the motivation letter, it must be in English. It is a requirement for us to also read your English. But for the recommendation letter, because we understand that not all of you have professors who can speak and write in English, we do also accept French as a recommendation letter, but it can be in English as well. We accept both. Is there any other questions? We'd be happy to answer any other.
You can always come back to us at a later stage if some questions arise later on. Contact the team at sama.school@sciencespo.fr. You can also visit our website. We have a lot of information. Everything has been updated on the website to reflect the move to this online format. So you have all of the information, the electives and tutorial calendar with all of the different options depending on the different time zones. All of the details also about the content of the academic program. So we definitely invite you also to take a look at the website, and do not hesitate to contact the summer school team if you have any particular question. Of course, we are at your disposal and we'll be very happy to answer any question. All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. It was a pleasure.
Just so you know, if you have also fellow students that you know who are interested in the program and couldn't attend the webinar today, we have recorded the webinar and it will be posted on our website. We will be sending you via email the link to view the recording of the webinar, and you can also let your friends know if they're interested to visit our website and view it directly online. So thank you very much again for participating in this webinar. It was a great pleasure to answer all of your questions. We weren't able to see you, but hopefully we will be meeting virtually, at least some of you, in July. Take care and do not hesitate to be in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.